welcome back. It's like we never left, you know.
I've been here the whole time, man. Where
Waiting,
where have you?
waiting. You ever see Seinfeld with David Putty? You remember David Putty, Elaine's boyfriend? I think he like sat on a plane like the entire flight. He was just like this. That's been you all this time.
Seinfeld never got me. I never thought it was.
Really?
I don't think it hit San Diego. I think it missed like
Yeah.
Hawaii and San Diego. Just the humor. I don't know. Maybe not. The first Seinfeld I ever watched was the last episode ever made.
Interesting. I remember watching it at home. I was in, I think, the sixth grade. But it's interesting you say that because I had a friend when I was living in Pennsylvania last year who was saying, he's like, I hate Seinfeld. He's like, who would want to date this bald fat guy? Like, meaning George, like, sort of thing. And I was like, well, I mean, there's more to it than that, But,
well, and most people don't understand that actually Seinfeld is actually a poker sitcom. There's a whole parallel thing with like how the character. No, it's not.
Oh, I was like getting all intrigued over here. Like,
yeah, dude, it's
like,
oh, he's gonna go on
for
that,
tonight.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah, we're back. We took a little break, and we're everything is on the table. Pun intended.
Yeah, it's so funny. Nikki, like we've known each other for coming up on a year now. And when we started, we did like the sports betting thing. We had like a sports betting themed podcast, and then I mean, maybe this is less, like it's a little more surreal for me as opposed to you. I feel like maybe because you were a former poker pro, but like when I first started like making my first videos for like daily sports betting, like if you would have been like, hey, in like 8 to 9 months you're going to be like streaming poker, I'd be like, get out of my face. There's like that's what a joke. Like. And here we are.
What do you think that means in the bigger life picture? If like you're living in a situation in life where it's like, if you would have told me a year ago, I'd be here. Because I feel like that can go both ways. Or is it a personality thing? Or do you think it means you're on the right path? If like there's like it's like, wow, never would have thought I would have been a librarian.
I remember when the librarian was old, unattractive. We didn't know anything about her personal life. We didn't want to know anything about her personal life. Sorry, now you got me on Seinfeld like Bookman. No, it's interesting that you bring that up because it's something I was talking about with my lady friend earlier tonight. It's so life is so funny. Like how like just one little thing can really change a lot. Like you think, like I met Rachel from Lucky Stars, and then we met, and then like you met Rachel through me, and now like here we are, like we're all streaming and like having a great time, and it's like.
Yep.
I was telling you recently that a page, this neuroscientist, her page is called Theory Gang, and it's a really great page. And I've been following her for years. She came onto my live, like she invited me to her Discord, and it's just awesome, like philosophical conversation. And it's like, wow, like now, like we're interacting with more people, and it's who knows where we're gonna be. Like I never would have thought I'd be streaming poker. Like, what's the next step gonna be? So. Just trying to take it as it comes, like just try to enjoy the ride as much as you can, and instead of trying to force it, I know that's my problem in life. I always try to force things.
Oh yeah, especially in poker on a downswing, like that's when you really want to press.
Yeah,
you want to if you drink a little more. You definitely want to be getting out. No, it's funny, like all those videos. It's like get outside your comfort zone. Like they just don't apply with poker, which is actually, I think, a lot of the struggle is like pulling out your inner Yoda and unlearning what you have learned. Because you'll see this all the time in poker. You'll get these really sharp people come into the poker table and they've been successful lawyers, doctors, bankers, and then like they just get their ass handed to them in poker. The skills sometimes don't translate as much as you think. And
it's interesting how that works, right? Because you kind of like, I mean, I guess it's like making like judge, but you think like, oh, like, and I think that's this is poker and beyond. So it's something like I was thinking about this idea recently, like about like intelligence. Like when is a person like smart and when is a person dumb? Like because smart people do dumb things. Like how many dumb or actually I shouldn't. Someone told me when I was in basic training. I used to be in the military. Someone told me when I was at basic training that the difference between dumb and stupid is that dumb is doing the wrong thing while not knowing any better, and stupid is doing the wrong thing while knowing better. I don't know if that's true. It sounded good to me, though.
That sounds like clever. I mean, to me, that's clever. That's like someone I don't know. They, in some therapeutic circles, they're like, that's called criminal thinking and leads to addiction. We need to stop criminal thinking behaviors. And I'm like, criminal thinking? You mean like critical thinking? Because that's what I'm hearing when you tell me these things. Because you'd have clients and intake. Which, by the way, you were in the military. I was a high school teacher for a couple of years. In my hiatus when I stopped playing poker,
Really?
Yeah,
I did not. How did I not know this about you? What did you teach?
History and
pot
econ. It was a private school. They need teachers so bad in certain states. You can teach for with a temporary license, but at a real school, alternatives to licensure. Yeah, I did it for a couple of years. I am someone. I can, I actually still teach yoga to this day, which I highly recommend.
That I did know about you. So it was like, what grades did you said high school? Was it like 9th grade, 12th grade? Like, or all
high school. Yeah, it was a private school, so the smaller classes, but yeah, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 12th was government econ and then world history, European history. I turned it into this was pre-Trump, so I was able to even teach conservative kids. Well, they weren't, their parents were. I was able to be like, yo, history's written by the winner, so I'm just trying to teach history from multiple points of view. I swear if I did that now, I would be labeled something like, by the way, I was trying to really actually go middle of the road. I was actually trying to, I wasn't necessarily pulling out Howard Zinn,
Well, that's very commendable. It's interesting. I saw that happen. I went to school right out of high school, but then I didn't finish. It was a long and winding road for school. It was.
Difference between smart. No.
Exactly. No, that was good. But like originally I went to school for music and I wanted to be a music teacher, and I'm very glad it didn't pan out, and in the end
let's pause. Let's dig into that. Are you sure? No,
No, I don't think I would have made it in public education, at least in the current environment, But like, did you find was it? Here's something I'm interested to know. Like, as a teacher, like, I'm sure there are days like you probably lesson planned and stuff, but like, were there times like you were like unprepared and you're like, oh crap, let's see how this goes, or did you just like always have like an out, like okay, like whatever like modern version of showing a movie is, you know what I mean? Like, or maybe
good question. You get to a point where you just have to be one day ahead of all of the smartest kids in the class, and so I was able. And so I had a lot of backup. If I was off, I would just come in with like, we're going to do reading for 20, 30 minutes. I would extend that. And then I always had backup articles. I could go into the sub category and just do material that like I would normally give a sub, but it was a little more laissez-faire because it was a private school, but I did have a curriculum I have to follow. But yeah, there was days I would kind of phone it in. Absolutely.
Did you ever have to deal with like disciplinary problems? Like, I mean, or like, were they pretty like well behaved? I guess.
No, it was an intake center, so I mean, some of these kids were coming in from wilderness therapy. It was a LDS school, and I'll let you Google that if you need to. But basically, it was a private school, troubled teens, and I was pretty good at connecting. I tried to be like a rebel,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised to hear that at all. That you did, because of I've known you for a while, and your personality is one that can connect with many. I feel like I always felt like we had that in common, but like. Did any kids like ever like curse at you or anything? The reason I used years ago, like over a decade ago, I dated a girl who taught. She was a 9th grade teacher, in like not an inner city school.
No, because it's private, so like they have discipline. Like if they do that, there's discipline. Like they are kind of if you think of a horse, they've kind of been broken. In fact, that was literally part of the. That wasn't even like hidden. It's like, okay, we break them the first month. They might not even say that, but no, it was pretty good. I had pretty good kids, and I, of course, like, I don't know. It was not a lot of money. And I don't know. I just moved on.
Yeah. Did anyone like ever be like, yo, F you, Mr. Nicky, or like anything like that? Like,
dude, the most intimidating thing was one time this girl, like I was talking, because I did have I was coming at it with like thoughts create beliefs, beliefs create thoughts, thoughts create actions, actions create character, character writes history. And like one time I just asked like this thing, like what do you think, you know, like I went English teacher style. I was like, what are this person's motivations? And like this girl was just like, power. Like this is like you're just missing the point. This history is like a pursuit of power. And like the way she said it, I was like, fuck.
Wow.
She was probably the smartest person in the class, but nobody like cussed me out directly.
Well, that's good.
I get that more at the poker table, I'll say that, or in a poker stream, or it was poker live. But
that's, well, just to close on that point, this girl that I dated like 10 years ago, she said that like kids in there would like tell her to, you know, we'll keep it PG, like tell her to like get effed, you know, like, and I was like, are you serious? You know, and like she'd send them the office or whatever, but it's like, I don't know how I would keep myself from like flipping a desk if that were me. So like probably good that I didn't, you know, get into
I think that's like your only job is to stay calmer than the kids.
Right. And look, I mean, if I did do it, I wouldn't have actually flipped the desk. But no, you mentioned something interesting, just kind of segueing points here pretty well. Like you're saying you get heckled more or cursed at, you I guess you kind of said, or heckled, we'll say, like on the streams. What's like, it's interesting because like for those of you who might be new to our podcast,
welcome.
Nicky and I used to run like sports betting, like Discord, and we were big in like sports betting realm of things. And you know, like we used to talk about like, do people like troll, like do we get trolled like hard for the picks? And I've always been kind of disappointed that I never really got trolled that hard at all, like for my picks. Now usually they were good, but like what's the difference between like with that and like the poker streams? I want to hear what I have some things to say, and I'm interested to hear your perspective.
Yeah, well, streaming at Lucky Stars, you know, we just are actually trying to. Streaming's like probably like most things, acting. I don't know. There is some turnover, so we just were talking about this actually, and I don't know if you remember this, Quacky, but I asked you, I was like, what is your biggest? What's something that somebody could say would be the biggest like fear? So people will hit me with, oh, this is a hustle, or this is fake, or this is rigged. Like that stuff is not a big deal. Like the most somebody ever hit me was like this guy was genuinely watching, and then he was just like, I got killed on this, and then he's like, no, like I've really lost. Like it was like, whoa. But he wasn't trying to troll necessarily. But most trolls, I think, are fine. I actually can try to anticipate them, but I think.
Wait. So what was he saying?
He basically was like, I've just lost. He's like, I lost it all. Like he was just like, he
like
wasn't
lamenting, basically, or
yeah. He was kind of like, and I said, look, if you're not having fun, I mean, you shouldn't play at all. Like if you're not having fun when you're winning, you shouldn't play. Now, you know, I love poker for many reasons because I do think it's the closest thing to an accelerated version of life that you can get. Like you will know,
Agreed.
like so. Yeah, as they're losing, yeah, it's life, you know. So, but in terms of people trolling on the streams, I mean, it's a thing. I'm pretty good at disarming them. I think a lot of times you get these people coming in that are king of their home game, and they're gonna, you know, get snarky with me, and I'm just like, dude, that's cute, you know. But what about you? I mean, you said I remember what you told me. I asked you, what's your biggest fear? What someone could say. Do you remember what you said?
I don't actually. It's interesting because I was talking with my lady friend earlier, and I was talking about one of how did I word this to her? Not like, and this isn't necessarily applicable to the stream, but like just like in person. Not that I think I'm like the funniest like person ever, but like if someone was like, "You suck," like you're not funny, like at all, you know, like, and obviously like some people won't find me funny, and that's not my goal of the stream. But I would say like just like in general, like that would be like, "Ooh, that sucks," because I like to think I'm entertaining on some level, so that would hit me a little bit, but like. Some people have come on and just been like, oh, every time I see one of these streams, it's some fish playing. I'm like, oh, great, like all the more reason for you to join. Come and take me out. And really, like, and lately, like since I've been bubbling so much, I'm like, this is the perfect time to join because I'm, you know, getting terrible luck. You can probably take me out, you know. But
yeah,
but no one is no one has really been. It's interesting, like sorry, I'm jumping around here, but like the difference between like the sports betting picks and like the poker stream is like now it's live, like it's live action. So like they can, it's not like if I make a pick and it sucks, like no one's trolling me throughout the course of the game. It's like a once and done. You know what I mean? It's like it's like a once and done thing. And usually for me, like where I've made like picks that were unpopular picks, people like beforehand would be like no way, and then they would come through and then they'd be like, some people would like tip their cap, sort of thing, and give me the props. But yeah, like I think that's the difference, is that it's all in real time and everyone is, I mean, I guess you can say the same thing with sports because a lot of people are familiar with sports, but everyone's at least most likely, a lot of people played even like poker in some capacity, whether it's like a little home game, and because of that they think they know everything. A lot of them, everyone's a genius at a live 1-2 game, right?
Oh yeah,
and that's kind of what it is, except when you're playing live 1-2 and everyone is a genius, there's what, nine seats max, where people like now you have an unlimited like amount of people that can come on your stream and be like, why would you do that? That was stupid. Why are you like, it's just kind of like it's trying to. It's not that gets to me. There's so much that you need to juggle as a streamer, like looking at the comments, looking who's joining so you can greet people, trying to concentrate on the game, putting like music on in the background or a show on the background, talking about something else. And it's just like, now these guys, like it doesn't, I wouldn't say like it gets me off kilter, but it's just like, look, I'm not trying to deal with this like right now. Like, come on, like I'm trying to interact here. And it's more like an interruption more than it's a bother. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, hold on a sec. Hold on. Welcome, Nicky here. We are streaming. Hold on, streaming and dreaming. Oh, we got a 1-2. Can I? No.
Wait, did you just go on the stream? Oh
no, I almost did though. They kind of, funny I kind of wanted to use that joke. We are actually both so we both didn't think we'd make it tonight. So we both are in a tournament. So if you kind of looking over, we're literally just auto knitting.
Yeah. Don't mind us as we
no,
as we. Oh, I just made the final table here, so that's good.
Let's go. Hey, this is just kind of a reboot. We're going to be doing these weekly. If anybody wants or knows anyone, it's Poker and Beyond. So we are going to have guests, and we're just going to have fun. We're gonna play with a lot of topics, not just high school FOMO teaching, and we're gonna get into the stonk market. Options. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go consciousness, ayahuasca shamans in Vegas for the World Series.
Yeah, we're gonna take it here on like live.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, you need every edge you can get. If someone starts to talk to me about the movie Limitless, I just hand them a card to my shaman. I'm like, look, this is what you're looking for, and then I get a kickback. I get a referral kickback from that. The shaman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I get raked back on my shamanic journeys.
All right, I'm looking for a new shaman. Is he trying to take on more clients or
woman? Yeah, no, it's great. Honestly, not even kidding. It's pretty great. But for to each their own. But yeah, I think yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing to say. It's like, yeah, I got my shaman upstairs in the suite. And me and my boys were drumming ceremony till 5 a.m. So it's like, anyway.
So I'm interested to know. I have pocket sixes and I just flopped the full house. By the way, here. I hope no one's watching.
Min bet it, dude. Nobody, don't slow play that shit.
I already checked the flop, but
I know you did. Everyone checks the flop. You flop quads, you bet it. You know why? You get 3 callers. And everyone, also why? Because when I flop quads and I bet it, the whole stream is like, nyeh, and I'm like, fade to public. Thank you.
No, you know what? That's an interesting outlook. I'm probably going to take this. Yeah, I took it down. I wasn't going to get much more out of that anyway. But this is great. We're podcasting and playing at the same time.
Yeah, which we are going to do. We're going to be doing giveaways too, live, and but they're going to be done through this avenue. But anyhow, that's a bookmark for later.
And since we're on the topic of poker, I really like what you said like you flop quads and you're going to bet it. I think that's the move, because like really, like what are the chances? And this is a serious inquiry for you because you're a much smarter player than I am. Like if you like that's like if you get like
More
a royal
experience.
flush, like 2 cards to make a royal flush, or or if you flop quads or something, like the odds that like you're going to get any action is like not like unless they get something pretty good too. But that's going to be that's a tall order. That's
Yeah, a lot
order.
of times when I flop quads and fire in PLO, it's somebody floating me. It's somebody that's like, well, he doesn't have quads, so like, and they're like, this is a perfect spot where I can make a bluff. Like it happens so often, where basically people assume I don't have the quads, and it's
Right.
amazing.
It's it's interesting too. Like I think
Life-changing.
about doing a similar thing, like you flop the nut flush or like the second nut flush. It's like typically like I don't know about you, and I mean maybe I'm giving away part of my thinking here, but I don't care.
Okay.
It's like if someone's bet like let's say 3 clubs hit the board and someone's betting, like I'm probably thinking like they probably don't have like the flush. Unless they have like a baby flush and don't want the fourth one to fourth club or whatever it is to get there, that I can see. But like I feel like most of the time like people are who do that more often than not are probably defending a pair or trying to just get other people like out of the hand or something.
And here's a little tip. Yeah, I mean, I do, and I've talked about this before. People would rather get bluffed. People would rather call down and lose all their cookies than get bluffed. But I'm seeing this in PLO 5. There's a little evolution in the game, or just the evolution in my journey of who I'm playing. But people are flopping the nut flush, ace high flush, and they're potting at all 3 streets. And they're getting action, from me, but other players too, because people are like, oh, it's a blocker bet. Because you will see that with the blocker bet. Almost all the time, you will see blocker bets potted, which I don't think is you're almost more powerful going a little less than pot in terms of trying to get someone to fold than the pot. And then there's like a meta game there. But yeah, we'll get into a lot of that stuff on our next episode. We are going to talk about ranges and ranges in life, how poker is really a journey for you.
And this is I'm Garrett. There's just me and one other player left.
Oh, you're playing heads up right now?
Yeah, he's got me out chipped by a lot, but I'm guaranteed second. I only have 1 knockout in this tournament, but I'm guaranteed second here, which is nice. So I'm basically just playing for the bounties.
Okay,
just,
so
what's so interesting too, just like filling everyone in. So like I've been like bubbling and like getting 2 out of the can I say the M word here? I guess right. 2 out of the cookies. I'll just say cookies. Screw it. 3 out of the cookies. Like I bubbled I think 2 times on a stream in like the last week. 2 times I was 2 spots out of the money. I actually like got pretty frustrated last night. Like I was just like, damn, like I can't believe I bubbled again. And now here I am about to place in my 4th tournament of the day, and I've only played 4. So,
hell yeah!
It's the I guess the variant. I mean, there's just like sports betting or anything else, like ups and downs. Like it's eventually going to come back.
Downs. Whew, no, it can be pretty disgusting. I don't think people realize how sickening it can be, and at the same time, if you're playing bad and you don't want to look at your gameplay, you might not actually be running as bad as you think. So it goes both ways. And I'm sure you're open to this. You guys can send a hand, whether you've signed up or not. Just shoot us a hand. We'll look at it. I try to do that as just someone, because if you are streaming, you are part of the community. Well, some may say leader, some may say entertainer, but yeah, I just want to offer that, throw it out there. So, but yeah, we'll go over more. We're going to get into some nitty gritty next time. So
no, for sure. And that offer, by the way, I mean, I'm happy to look at a hand too, but you're probably better off sending it to me.
Yeah. Well,
I look, I have my moments, right? How would you, and like, don't hold back, man. Tell me what you really think. Like I don't know, like I think late tournament stages are my weakness. Like hands, like, when I have like, let's say like a king 10 or something, or a king 9, like, maybe like mid stack is
you're literally just a couple pre-flop charts away from being really good. I mean, so that's the thing. About 7-8 years ago, AI figured out solvers, as they'll call it. Basically, there was always this gray area. Do you shove? I don't know. His personality. I'm tighter. You're looser. It's fine. But like now, there's literally like a right and wrong answer to a lot of shoving spots. It's not like well, I mean, it can depend on some. I'll even say it, intuition, but on paper there are just shoving spots, fold or shove.
Well, like that's interesting because like now you're saying like there's so much more like information available. It's like that leaves the door open for people to be that much more critical. Well, the book here
says,
it
is. No, people will definitely come on stream like they have a solver up and they're like, that's a shove. And they might be right, but at the end of the day, I do believe if you want to be really good at tournaments, you're gonna have to everything everywhere all at once, a couple of spots. You're gonna have to make a weird fold. You're gonna have to make. It's usually a weird fold pre-flop. It's like an ace jack in middle position, and it's like you got 12 bigs or 9 bigs, not 6, 9, 12, 11, and it's a fold, and it's like. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's and this is coming from an ex-atheist, so all I'm saying is intuition can play a play. It's not multiple times, usually one spot. You got to do something a little different. And I this is the part I love poker about mindset, because it's such a mind game. People will say like, if it wasn't for bankroll I'm great at poker, terrible at bankroll management. Well, you're almost just bad at poker then. That's you don't get it. That's the game you're playing. If you think of a cross, there's the horizontal and the vertical. You're missing one of them.
Yeah.
So
I remember Daniel Negreanu once on an episode of High Stakes Poker told Mattisau, he's like, "Can't play with napkins. You need money." I was like,
yeah. Oh, Negreanu. Yeah, and live, and a lot of the times, we like live poker too. Online, a lot of times I like to put in 5, 8, 10, 12 hours weekly, because to me, it's always leading up to the month stay in Vegas this week, 2 weeks. It's, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, if you play a tournament live, you're going to have to get lucky. You're going to have to make some good decisions. But it is as they say in the biz, a flow state experience that you're trying to grab. So, but yeah, I'm glad we went on that little tangent. Let's do more next time. This is a great reboot.
No, for sure. And I guess we should say, for those of you who are unfamiliar, I feel like a lot of people who will be watching this, at least to start, are from the streams or from Lucky Stars. But we are part of an online poker club called Lucky Stars Entertainment. And we play on the Poker Bros app. We are the largest club on the app, and we're very proud of that. So go ahead.
Largest private club. Yeah. And but whether you play or not, it's poker and beyond. And
I told everybody on the streams, like, it's funny. I was like, if you watch like my streams, like you probably know of Nicky's streams, like it's gonna be like the streams like without the game, like just like
maybe we're both like you're on the final table here. Let's get you to your game. Maybe that will be part of our charm. We'll be playing a table each time we do a podcast.
Well, I just got second, so but I'll take it. No, like I think that's interesting because I think that's.
But yeah.
No, I was just saying. I think it's interesting. Like people, like I was saying, then people are like, people are interested in like hearing others talk. I guess it's just like it's so hard. Like since being on TikTok, like finding out what keeps people's attention.
Yeah, and well, we're gonna get feedback, and feedback is appreciated too. By the way, leave a comment. We also want the interaction. We're slaves to the algorithm. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us. Just in the Nick of Tom, and we will see you next time.
All right. See you next time. Thanks for joining.
All right.